flip side, my old friend. See you on the flip side.
What's up, my tokers, jokers, and smokers? It's your man, Chef Rodney, here back with another edition of the Daily Chronicles. I'm here today with the fun guy himself, Rick Anstiss from TRANSCEND Micro Grow. Rick, how you doing today? Thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Good. How are you? And I appreciate you inviting me on.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. We're doing good. We're doing good. A little bit of a rough start this morning, but hey, no big deal. Now, TRANSCEND, man, like, I've heard so many things, and it's got me overly excited to talk to you about it, and I apologize, but at the same time, like, I gotta know, man, what is a micro license? Like, what is a micro grow? Like, that is a new thing here in Michigan somewhat. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, well, currently it sounds like I believe there's only 8 currently operating in the state. And that particular license was delivered and presented for caregivers. It was intended for people that were caregiving and maybe wanting to move forward into the recreational space to do that. At the beginning of it, it was very tricky. A lot of people weren't too interested in it. Didn't see the proper margins. But what I saw in it myself was the ability to be craft. And just looking at the craft beer motto, I see it being a booming industry in cannabis, in the sense that, again, craft. So how I do something or how you do something becomes very specific when you go to those 2 separate facilities, even when you're working with the same strains. So I think that's something that a lot of the people, state of Michigan, want. We want variety. Right. We want to see that different spectrum than what's being delivered from mass production and metric and recreational. So
I love it, man. So, it's interesting because I've said it for my viewers here. I've said it, as long as I've been a cannabis activist, and I said it to the state representatives that I talked about as well. When it came to consumption as far as putting it in food, that's my expertise. I'm a chef first and foremost, then a cannabis activist. I just earned it. You know what I mean? They asked me, how do you view cannabis? They did. They wanted to know because they ask you. They don't know. That's the thing. And I told them there should be 3 facets or 3 lanes of cannabis. There should be home grow. I think everybody should grow at home, period. It's vegetation. It's medicine, man. I think that there should be craft cannabis, which again is where your business and your license and things and expertise lie. And then I say that there should be corporate cannabis. Now, I don't like corporate cannabis, but it's a part of this world. There's a part of these worlds and things in politics that we don't like, that, let's face it, if we don't give them the opportunity to exist, then let's face it, no one can flourish. There's got to be balance. I live in a very gray area of life. I think Mike Diesel, we were talking on Instagram, he posted this thing about being a gray Jedi, and I'm like, dude, I love that shit. So I shared it, and it couldn't be more true. Again, thank you for kind of coming on and explaining that to a lot of people. Now, if somebody wanted to, let's say, become a craft, beer maker or a craft cannabis maker, how would someone go about doing, something like that? How is there a long process? Is it worth it? Like, how would, what's the 411 there, man?
Well, that's an excellent question, and that's kind of why, as this license was developed and laid out, the state is also kind of looking for those answers to see where it's been and which way it took angles. So, in my opinion, I believe that for your common caregiver, it's not it's not feasible to get this license as easily as maybe some of the other grow licenses. So, and I say that because of the regulations and the startup cost. So, I believe there should be something a little bit different in the licensure to make it a little easier. So, for example, our testing is the same testing that a 2,000 plant grow would be charged. So,
Oh, man.
if I have 100 distillate carts created, or cartridges created, I have to put those 20 of those or 12 of those into testing, which is about 20% of my product, and then I have to pay for that testing, and then I lose that product. Same thing with the flour. It's about $1,000 to test $4,000 worth of product. So there again, there's this big bite testing, and I don't think
So you guys-
necessarily.
So you guys are
yeah,
seeing the same cost as a corporate, as a corporate case.
Yeah, and I don't think it's necessarily needed. I think we obviously need to be in compliance and pass our testing. But let's say if my flour passes and I make concentrates out of that flour, then maybe if I'm going all the way to making an edible with it, maybe I just need to be tested there instead of the concentrate as well.
Right.
But we'll see. I do have Brad Passat or Paquette coming this Thursday to our facility, and I'm going to bring up some of these issues with him and see what he can maybe help us with, and then of course on the caregiver side, I want to see a little further where he stands on that matter. It seems like he leans in our favor, and he doesn't plan on voting yes for those current bills in the Senate, so that's a good thing.
Right. And listen, first and foremost, I want to let our viewers know, if you're not from Michigan, there is a huge battle, for caregivers here in Michigan. Let me be one of the first of many to say that the reason that Michigan is on the map marijuana-wise, cannabis-wise, weed-wise, is because of the caregiver system. It's been, implemented since 2007, 2008, and it's what we build everything off of. The caregivers paid a lot in taxes, don't think that they didn't, and that just paved the road for corporate and home grow and things of that nature. Now, you have to understand that. Why is that a big deal? Well, now you've got, we lost him. Now you've got, corporate cannabis wanting to move in and kind of pull the thunder, away from home growers and craft cannabis. One of the biggest issues is that we have an association out there, there he is, that, is actually currently and actively attacking those caregivers' rights, which is no bueno. Listen, we're going to go back to what we were talking about with the three lanes or the three facets of cannabis. There's home grow, there's corporate, there's home grow, there's cannabis, and then there's corporate. Okay, left unchecked, those three will kill each other. It's just that's what we see. Okay, and so there has to be people such as myself, not tooting my own horn here, but to keep those in check. They're like, all right, cool, but why don't you go back to your lane? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you go back to where you want to play? And I believe that you're onto something here, and I don't believe that you should be charged the same amount as a corporate. That's just, it seems like it's leaning more towards like the corporations, because let's face it, a lot of out-of-state companies have jumped into Michigan for a new market, for and this and that and the other. Okay, they brought their money with them. We can obviously tell that. You're telling me that someone such as yourself at TRANSCEND, okay, opens a micro grow who doesn't want to do it on a massive scale, that is no way, shape, or form a threat to this corporation who's already a multi-million-dollar company, okay? You think that it just doesn't make sense that you're paying the same amount. That does not make sense. There should be completely different. I think that the testing should be same, but there should be a different tax bracket, if you will, a different pay bracket. That doesn't make any sense. If you're paying the same amount as a corporation to test your stuff and remain in compliance, that to me just seems like favoritism. That's just me. For those who don't know, explain what it means to have a micro grow in the state of Michigan. How many plants can you have, and then things of that nature?
Sure. Well, we're allowed with this particular licensure 150 plants, and we have a progressive grow. So there's a pre-veg, a veg, 2 flower rooms moving continuously, and then we have a processing center and a laboratory. And a vault, and out front we have a retail.
Okay.
So it's pretty much fully integrated, just on that very small scale. And then amongst that, we have with our vault, we have like a dry cure. So, and then once you fill that up with a micro grow, depending on what's, being dispensed out of the retail side, you have to find that happy medium where your vault's not too full and it's not where you're running out.
Right.
But so far right now we're okay. We'd like to see some more sales, if anything. There's hiccups with the regulations as far as getting the ball rolling. And I think the state can put us in a better place here pretty soon.
I think it's coming, man. I really do. I think that it's definitely coming down the pipeline. How can it not at this point? If corporate cannabis has their way with it, they're completely put the kibosh on it. So yeah, that's how it can. But let's hope that doesn't happen.
Well, we're loud enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Especially me. I mean, I don't shut up. So yeah, that's that's helpful in this case. But I have to say that craft cannabis, if I had to pick my favorite out of the three facets, meaning homegrown, craft, and corporate, obviously wouldn't go corporate. Craft cannabis is near and dear to my heart, and let me tell you why. I'm an anarchist at heart. Always have been, always will be. Anarchy does not mean light a Molotov cocktail and throw it through someone's window. That is not what that means. That means that I don't think that anybody should be taxing marijuana or anything anyways. Well, we need roads built. Well, I'll let you go take a look back to George Washington. He rigged the first, lottery just to build a road for himself. You're going to tell me that if they were doing it then, they're not going to do it now? Are you serious? No, they've just spent all that time trying to figure out how to convince you. That's it.